Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. My name is Joe Oriani, and I am your host for this very special podcast, seen around the world. I'm not going to name all the countries, there's too many of them. However, I do have some things to say, but first of all, let's get rid of the housekeeping. If you want to get hold of the show, it's Joe Oriani Podcast at yahoo.com. You can get me on Twitter. You can get me on my podcast page, which is www.truthchat.fun. And I reply to everything except anything about abortion. I will not answer that question since I am not a female. Okay, I am not going to talk about the election stuff. Today is very special, but I want to say this may or may not be my last podcast. I have over 100 clicks a week from around the world, but it's not really enough to sustain anything. I don't hear back from anybody. There's no comments, no encouragement whatsoever. I've been doing it for 2 years now, so I may just give it up. But this one here and next week will be the best of. Then I'll come back and check my voicemails and texts and stuff like that. And emails in my pod page and see what you want. Because on the pod page, you can go ahead and leave a voice message. Somebody from Poland tried calling me today, but I didn't answer. So anyway, I don't answer phones. I don't like phones. So anyway, let's do this. It was very special for me because one of the things that I realized, I forgot where I was because I had to do something. But anyway, I was sitting around thinking about PTSD and Agent Orange. And the reason I did that because I come across a song by Joe McDonald. It was done in 2014. You can find it on Google it and find it on YouTube. It's about Agent Orange, how the kid is 17, just like I was. We sign up, we go to Vietnam. They spray this agent stuff that tries to kill you, and it's still killing us. And it goes on to say that when I was in Vietnam, I didn't know I died. It's really quite a touching song. And it hit me emotionally. So anyway, I'm going to talk about PTSD, which I did one time before, but this time I'm going to talk about PTSD and what it's like to go through it. Now, first of all, I have to tell you, PTSD, I never thought I had it. I've done all the things that you do with PTSD, which I'll get into in a minute. But I always thought of PTSD, as you look at the movies and the TV shows, that PTS was a stigma of crazy people. And that may be totally partly correct. But real violent, crazy people. And I was always afraid to admit it. A number of years ago, I went to see a therapist, and we had a 14-week session. And she told me, and she explained that PTSD can come into further as you get older. You just flare up for no reason. Now, I came to believe that because based on the symptoms that I'm about to read to you, I've got pretty well most of them. But the thing about PTSD that scares me the most is if I'm not a violent person. I'll walk away from a fight, rather be called a chicken than get into a fight. But if you get me to a point of tears, I will kill you. I lose total control. But I do not have a temper, believe it or not. I can take a lot of stuff. But anyway, let's get on to PTSD first. And then we're going to talk about Agent Orange, which is another disaster. But first PTSD. But you got to listen to that song by Joe McDonald. Okay. Now, the symptoms of PTSD, reoccurring intrusive memories. I take pills for my memory. I take pills for my nightmares. There's always somebody in my dream trying to kill me. One of these days, they're going to catch up. It'll be really interesting. Traumatic nightmares. And those are it. I look back on my dreams at night, even in the afternoon, if I was taking a nap, the nightmares would get so bad that I think I'd be screaming out in my dream, but nobody heard anything. And flashbacks. Flashbacks. That's an interesting concept. I'm okay because I will not watch a movie about Vietnam, a TV show about Vietnam, a documentary about Vietnam. I watch World War II all day long. But I try to stay away from that because I had moments where I just went totally blank. So avoidance comes in here. Avoidance, trauma-related thoughts and feelings and/or objects, people, places associated with the trauma. Now, I'm not going to tell you what I did in Vietnam because I don't like talking about it. Even talking about it makes me shake a little. But needless to say, I guess I could say this much, when you're shot at every day, you kind of get a little nervous. So I try to avoid all that. I will not go to the Vietnam Memorial. I just can't do it. And negative, let's see, distorted beliefs about oneself or the world. Yes, when you have PTSD, you tend to think everybody in the world is out to get you. When I go out to eat, I go in the door first. I sit my back to the wall as best as I can to see anything oncoming. I cannot shake that. I tried it once and it just didn't sit with me. And persistent shame or guilt. Yeah, you think about your friends and some made it, some didn't. Then it's like, why me, Lord? Why not? And emotional numbing. I can get very cold when I talk about certain things. I think I'm not outgoing emotionally, but I guess if I'm with somebody privately, somebody you love, I can get very emotional and feeling good. I feel like I'm isolated sometimes. I always felt that when I came out of Vietnam. It's like people avoided me. I just didn't like it. And inability to recall details of the trauma. Now, when I go to the shrinks at the VA, they want to know what happened. I can't tell. I just can't. I don't want to. I don't like bringing it up. That's why if you mentioned the Vietnam Wall Memorial. I can't picture me going there without shaking and probably having a heart attack. Now, it changes your marks alterations, arousal, or reactivity. Now, irritability. Oh yeah, I get irritable. I'm one pain in the ass. Hypervigilance. That's what I talked about in restaurants. Going to Walmart, I look around. I guess now, with the way things are in this world, it's the thing to do, but I've been doing that long before you're worried about getting out of your car. Reckless behavior. Oh, we touch it. We touch one there. What they told me was it's unprotected sex. It's doing things that are dangerous. I have done lots of dangerous things that I should not have done. I walked in with a guy one day. I was tending bar and he had a gun. He wanted to shoot me. I just walked over to him and took it off him. Not a care in the world. Stupid, but it worked. Sleep disturbance. Yeah, when you toss and turn and you're having these nightmares, you wake up. And difficulty in concentrating. Now that's an interesting. I could read for a while. I love reading in bed, but after a while, it's just like, I lose interest in things that I have done. I want to write another book, but I can't get a ghostwriter because otherwise, I really can't write. If you look at my first book, I think it's like 10 million on Amazon. It was a catharsis, whatever it is, but it wasn't a really good book. So anyway, now the second thing we want to talk about is Agent Orange. But before I go, the PTSD, is it under control? Yeah, perhaps. All the medication I'm on, I hate drugs. I remember I never used to even want to take aspirin, but during that time with the PTSD, I did a lot of drugs, a lot of drinking to hide the fear, the feeling of not being part of the universe. So now I walk around sarcastic. I hardly ever smile, but I do laugh once in a while. I like to say something to somebody as I walk by them or with them, and something sarcastic, and just watch their reaction because that's just me. But anyway, all right, let's go to Agent Orange. Agent Orange is a little different. When I volunteered to go to Vietnam, I knew the chances of dying there were, on the upside from a bullet, mortar, something. I didn't know that the U.S. government would kill me. They sprayed this stuff on foliage, tried to get rid of it. And I think it was like lots of it. And it's killing all the Vietnam veterans that have been exposed to it. They didn't tell us about it. They didn't care about it. It took a long time for them to acknowledge that. I had a partial kidney removed. And I remember the surgeon at the VA saying, well, that's probably from Agent Orange. She said, but I can't put it in the report. So anyway, I fought VA for 16 years. Finally, they decided that I was crazy and gave it to me. Anyway, Agent Orange affects different range in people in severity. The chemicals of herbicide affect everyone who has exposure differently. Symptoms could include the following: acne on your face, including blackheads, getting infections frequently, numbness, prickly or tingling feeling in your hands and feet. I got that. Fatigue, I got that. Shortness of breath and difficulty of breathing, swelling in your legs and feet, tremors with your muscles at rest. I got that. Now, what are the conditions caused by age? There's a lot of them. There's still some that should be approved and aren't. Now, I can't pronounce half of these, so I'll just go ahead. These are all different things. AL, Amy, although I'll spell that. AL, then AMYOLOIDOSIS. I have no idea what it is. Anyway, severe birth defects, abnormal fetal development, or miscarriages in your partner, bladder cancer, B-cell leukemia, acneiform disease, diabetes type 2, I got that, Hopkins lymphonia, hyperthyroidism, I got that, systemic heart disease, I'm not sure about that one, multiple myeloma, non-Hopkins, whatever the hell it is, Parkinson's. Now, Parkinsonium is what I have. It's Parkinsonism. They had to give me pills to help stop with the shakes. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. You know how embarrassing you go out the meal, you're like, so you take your pills. Perpetual neuropathy. I have that. I don't know what this is. PORPHYIA. If you got it, sorry. Prostate cancer. I luckily, at the moment, don't have that. Respiratory lung cancer. I don't have that. Soft tissue sarcoma. Is Agent Orange deadly? Yes, complications of Agent Orange exposure were life threatened and caused over 300,000 U.S. veterans and over 400,000 Vietnamese people died from exposure from 1962 to 1971. And with it still in your system, you can still die from it. So all my veteran friends who know we're all dying, were murdered by the U.S. government, I say the country as a whole should say they're sorry. The government as a whole should say they're sorry. Not give us a damn hard time. You murdered us. We're just walking around on 2 feet. That's all. So anyway, between PTSD and Agent Orange, life becomes short. So I am 74, but let me tell you, the health issues that I had to overcome and still work with, some were well hidden. I look pretty damn healthy. There's some there. I mean, I hopefully plan on living another few years. At least, I don't know if I want to have so much pain because of my back, but they don't pay for your back. So you young people, pick up the stuff the right way. Use your knees. Because then when your knees go, you're screwed. Anyway, but I digress. So everybody who's listening to this, if you liked it, please let me know. Go to my YouTube channel, hit like, subscribe. I will check all that when I come back. And in the meantime, I will go ahead and add another best of, which is Katie, who is a social worker, combated women. I kind of like that one. So everybody have a nice day, and we'll see if we get back on next time. God bless you all, and don't forget, if you're not laughing, you're not living. And I say that because I mean that. I like to have fun. I like to joke. I like to do things that I guess I'm the person in the room that says things that people don't are thinking but don't want to say. And it's mostly for reactions and just because I want to. I have no filter. I'm not politically correct. I'll never lie to you. So, so remember that. And everybody enjoy the day. And hopefully, maybe we'll have another one.